Have you ever felt like something is missing, but you can't really explain it? It's like you've done the rituals, you've done the journaling, you've done the inner work, you've shown up to your practice, you've moved your body, you've tried to stay connected, but something still just feels a bit off. It's like part of you just isn't here. It's like your energy is draining out somewhere, but you can't see it. It's like your power is right there, but you can't quite get to it. Does that make sense? I felt that too. And for me, it wasn't actually mindset. It was actually soul loss. So if any of this is resonating with you, if you've ever felt that quiet, haunting sense that something is missing, or that you feel stuck somewhere in the past, then please stay with me, because in this video, I am going to walk you through what soul retrieval actually is, how you know if you need one, and what happens when those long lost parts of your soul finally come home. Hey wild ones, I am Emma Louise Dyson, earth medicine woman, shamanic witch, and founder of the Wild and Untamed Way. And if you've not been here before, welcome. It's awesome to have your company. I've been working with soul retrieval for years now, both in my own practice, with teaching my students, and also I've received soul retrieval as well. And it is one of the most sacred, powerful pieces of work that I've ever encountered. And it is one that I have lived through in my own healing again and again and again. And I talk a lot on this channel about energy, about witchcraft, about seasonal living, deep healing. And if that's your kind of magic as well, make sure that you hit the subscribe and the like, and stick around, because what we're going to be talking about today might just change how you approach your healing path entirely. Before I tell you a story, I want to talk about why soul loss happens, why the soul fragment in the first place, right? So you've probably heard someone say, that man will always have a piece of my soul, right? Maybe you've even said it, or I left part of myself in that place or that country or that home. And we say this casually, but it's not just a metaphor. There's actually truth in that. So from a shamanic perspective, the soul isn't one solid thing, right? It's a thread of energy. It is woven through the body, the field, through our lifetimes that we've encountered. And in moments of trauma, shock, deep grief, or even suppression, a piece of our soul can break off. And it is not because you have failed, and it is not because you are weak, but it is because your system was trying to protect you. So when the soul felt unsafe, that part of the soul fragmented to stay safe, right? Because it didn't feel safe going through what you were encountering. So it's like this built-in survival mechanism. Part of your soul detaches, it goes somewhere else, somewhere safer, so that you can keep functioning. And it doesn't have to be big, dramatic trauma. It could be the quiet things. So that moment you were picked on when you were at school, or the time you stopped crying because it made other people uncomfortable, or the version of you that shut down just to stay safe. And little by little, parts of you can get left behind. And over time, you can start to feel hollow, disconnected, like you're here, but you're not fully here. Something is missing, right? And that is what soul loss is. And unless we go back for those parts, they don't just drift home on their own. So I've experienced soul retrieval from both sides, as a practitioner and as a teacher, but also as a client as well. And a while back, I was part of a training that blended soul retrieval, which I've been doing for years, with past life regression and quantum healing. And I agreed to be a case study. And honestly, I thought I was just going to kind of clear some old patterns. For me, rejection, people pleasing, this deep, sneaky fear of not being liked. Believe it or not, I put myself out there, but it still affects me, right? I am a recovering people pleaser. And I figured that in this session, it would bring up some childhood stuff, right? A few tears, nothing too wild. But what actually happened completely changed me. And I don't say that lightly, like it completely changed me. So we started off with looking at some life stuff, right? Some memories from childhood where I'd felt like a spare part, where I wasn't wanted, where I wasn't chosen, where I always felt like I was the outsider. And those moments, first of all, helped me to understand why some of my relationships had played out the way that they had, right? And why this like ache of not being enough kept showing up in my life. Because another reason why we may be aware of soul loss is looping patterns, things that happen over and over again that we keep doing, and we feel like we've healed from them or we've learned from them, and then we do the same thing again and again and again, right? So I was expecting something to come up around that, but then the energy really, really shifted. So I dropped into a past life, ancient Egypt, and in that life, I was powerful. I was fully in my gifts, like not soft or hidden, like I was fully in my gifts. I was also a channel, right? Galactic, otherworldly knowledge moved through my body like a current. And I was medicine. And that made me really dangerous. And in this past life, they'd locked me away. And it wasn't because I'd done anything wrong, but it was because I couldn't be controlled. So in this past life, I was in this stone cell. I was surrounded by snakes. And in that moment, I could literally feel the pressure building under my skin, like my own power had been trapped there for lifetimes and was trying to break through. And it wasn't a metaphor, like my whole body was pulsing, heat, force, activation. I could feel this soul fragment had been trapped here for a lifetime. And long story short, the part of my soul returned and I felt it land fully, right? Fully in my body. It was electric. And then when I came out of the session, a lot of times when I do soul retrieval, people feel calm or clear. I didn't feel any of that, right? I did feel calm and I did feel clear, but I felt alive. And I spoke the things that I'd been holding in, and I took action that I'd been avoiding. And I really stepped into my power, and I stopped apologizing for the way that my power moves through the world. And this session didn't just heal me, but it brought me back to myself. And that's why I love to teach this work, because sometimes the reason you feel stuck or scattered or like you're just living, I don't know, like at 70% is because a piece of you isn't there. It isn't with you. But when we call it back, we don't just feel better, we remember who the hell we are. So how do you know if soul retrieval might be something that you need? It's usually not a big loud thing. It's often subtle, but it's definitely there. So you might feel numb. You might feel like you're living slightly outside of your body. You might feel like your spark has gone, not in a dramatic way, but like it's just dulled a little bit. like you're like not quite yourself. You might have looping patterns, which I mentioned, right? So relationships, behaviors, fears that keep repeating and repeating and repeating, no matter how much inner work that you've done. You might feel tired, foggy, like your energy is like leaking, like bleeding out somewhere. Or maybe something has happened, right? A breakup, an illness, a loss, and you've never felt quite the same since. I worked with a client who had experienced a car accident, and although her body had healed, she says she's never been the same since. And when we did a soul retrieval, she went back to that place, back to that moment in time, and her soul fragment was returned and integrated back into her energetic body, and her life changed forever after that. So sometimes that's what it is. A piece of you is left, and now it's time to bring it home. So if this is landing with you, if you're sitting here thinking, this actually might be me, then I want to give you an invitation to experience it for yourself. So as part of my free 5-day online experience, the Wild Reawakening, I'm going to be guiding a group soul retrieval journey. Now, it is not going to be the same as what I shared earlier, right? This isn't a deep one-to-one retrieval recode session, but it is a powerful guided meditation that is going to help you to begin calling parts of yourselves back home. So you get to feel it even in a group setting. This work moves and it shifts things and it remembers. So if you want to go deeper, if you know that there's something more personal maybe that needs to be reclaimed, you can also book on a one-to-one session with me. We can book a retrieval recode session, just you and me in Ritual. We can do it on Zoom, or you can come to my studio in Chester and we'll call those parts of you back home. But if you want to join us for the group session, please come and join us for my 5-day workshop. It is called the Wild Reawakening, and I will pop the link in the usual place. We start on the 1st of September. It is free to join, and it is 5 days to really learn and grow and have an insight into my world and be able to work with me in a group setting. And if this kind of work speaks to your bones, if you know that you're here to actually hold this kind of healing for others, then make sure you stay close, because in January, I'm going to be opening up enrollment for Soul Thread, which is my practitioner certification in shamanic soul work, ancestral healing, and past life regression. So lots of exciting things happening. A lot of people ask me about soul retrieval. I trust that that has cleared a few things up for you. If you have any questions, do pop them in the comments. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe for more shamanic witchcraft content here on the Wild and Untamed Way. But for now, come and experience it yourself. Join the Wild Reawakening. Easy for me to say. The link is in the description, and I will see you on the inside.